On site at the Naimoli Family Baseball Complex for the 5th edition of the Knights Baseball Roundup. I'm, of course, joined by the FGU baseball coach, Gary Puccio. How you doing, Gary?
How are you there, Ryan?
I'm doing good. Weather's back down to being kind of terrible. And we'll get to it, but tomorrow's game postponed, I believe.
Correct.
So we'll get to that in a second.
Something about snow in the forecast.
Yes. But again, late March, snow in the forecast. And, the weather's just terrible. So let's just...
Baseball in the Northeast, you know what I mean? Always the best, right?
Okay, well, our weekly segment that we started last week, the Alumni Question of the Week, Gary, we don't have one this week.
No, we don't. So we need the alumni to please cooperate and start sending in those questions, because I get plenty of questions at other times of year. So now we want to try to incorporate it into this show. So please, alumni, send in your questions. Thank you.
All right, let's talk about this past weekend series against Seton Hall. Obviously, 22nd ranked team in the country. Good experience. I think you played them tough all weekend long, but Seton Hall walked away with 3 victories. Give me some thoughts overall on the series, the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I thought our overall level of play was very good. I mean, we at some point in every one of those 3 games, I felt we were going to win the game. And when you're playing the number 22 team in the nation, you feel that way. That's a pretty good sign. Of course, we didn't win any of the games, and that's not a good sign. So, they're better than us. There's no arguing that. And they obviously deserved to win. They made all the plays that they had to, and they made plays when it counted. And that's something that it's a good experience to learn that. I think on Sunday's game, we had a man on first, moved him to second in the 7th inning in a 1-1 tie. Didn't score him. 8th inning, same thing. Man on second, 1 out, didn't score him. When Seton Hall had their opportunities, they scored them. And that's the difference between being a number 22 team and being a team that's still young and learning. But I thought it was definitely a good experience and a positive for our program, because we definitely gave them a run for their money. It was not sit back and relax and enjoy the weekend for Seton Hall, that's for sure. No,
I think you definitely played them tough. Starting with Friday, it was a 3-1 loss, but you played them tough. It was 1-1 heading into the bottom of the 6th. Dylan Sprague had a RBI double, scoring Roman. And then they came back and scored 2 in the bottom of the 6th to take the victory. But you played their ace, one of the best pitchers around, and you played them tough. You kept them to 3 runs, obviously. So give me some thoughts about Friday's game.
Yeah, they pitched John Prevost, who's obviously well-known in the area. He's an outstanding pitcher. The week before, he shut out Manhattan on a 3-hitter, 2-0. He was 5-0 coming into the game. So we knew we had our work cut out for us playing him. I thought Joe Flack, for a freshman, was absolutely outstanding. I mean, he kept us in the game the whole way. We made a base running mistake in the top of the 6th, and that kind of turned the momentum back to Seton Hall. And as you said, they're a good team, and right away, bottom of the inning, they answered and scored 2 runs. But I was very happy with the way Joe pitched. I thought he did an outstanding job. He continues to get better. And we showed a lot of guts against a good pitcher. And that kid, there's a reason he's 6-0. I mean, he's 6-0 and he's playing a lot of big teams. So we did a good job of competing with him. We definitely did.
Saturday was the game that we held here. Friday and Sunday were held at Seton Hall. Saturday was the game here. And you must have been thinking victory. You said you thought every game there was a chance to win. After the first inning, you ran their pitcher out after a couple outs, didn't get through the first, scoring 5 runs in the first. He's supposed to be going in the first 7 rounds or something, I've been hearing, that guy. But then they brought in Luke Cahill. He came down and settled things down. But just give me some overall thoughts about the offense showing up for that game at home and the game as a whole.
That's one of those games where you scored too early. You score 5 in the bottom of the first, and you're up 5-0, and you're playing a top-ranked team, and it's like, I wish this was 0-0 in the 6th, and we scored 5 runs, because now you got to nurture it for 8 more innings, and obviously we weren't able to do that. I thought it was very impressive the way we hit in the first inning, and we did knock him out. Left-handed pitcher, a good pitcher. We seemed to keep patience at the plate. We did a lot of good things. Scored 5 runs. Unfortunately, Brendan didn't have it that day, and he got roughed up a little bit in the next couple innings after that. It happens, It's kind of weird because you sit there saying, well, Friday's pitcher or Sunday's pitcher, with a 5-run lead, neither one of them gave up 5 runs. But that's baseball. That's just the way things go. And it's also credit to Seton Hall again that down 5-0 in the first, and by the 3rd or 4th inning, they had the lead again. says something about them. And it also says that, we've got to recognize that we got to play all 9 innings. That it takes all 9 innings of successful baseball to come out with a W. And I was very happy with the way we hit that inning. Very happy with the things we did. And I don't think we played bad that day. I thought we played pretty good defense. It came down to, our starting pitcher that day just didn't have it.
And you talk about being thin at reliever, but after Butler was taken out of the game, I think the bullpen did a pretty good job of keeping the offense in the game. They just couldn't get it done against Seton Hall's relievers. So, tell me how you're feeling about the relievers after that performance.
Yeah, I think they get 1 run in the last 4 innings of that game. And, I'm a big believer in our bullpen. I kind of built the program with those guys since they were freshmen, Khaleesi, Perline, and Snyder. And, I got McGrath and McDonald also in the pen this year. And, I'm never afraid to go to that bullpen. I always feel they're pretty solid, and they've been solid this year for the most part. So hopefully, if we're in games and we have to go into that bullpen, we'll still come out successful a lot.
Now, Sunday's game, another very close matchup, kind of marred by a big error late in the game. But John Chalupa, second straight, excellent performance. And just give me some thoughts about his performance and Sunday's series wrap.
Well, like you just said, I think one of the big important things is that's back-to-back outstanding performances by John. And, he's a new guy here, transfer from junior college down in Texas, and we expect big things out of him. And he's given us no reason to believe that that's not going to happen. As we talked about earlier in the year, we were converting him from a reliever to being a starter, and it took him a while to get where he could start building up innings and have some endurance in throwing a game. And his last 2 outings, he's gone in deep into the 7th or deep into the 8th, and that's, terrific baseball for his part. I thought he pitched an absolutely outstanding game. He gave us a great chance to win. The 1 run they scored off of him was another infield pop-up that should have been handled and wasn't. So, you really could say he might have shut him out for 7 innings, which was just a terrific performance. And if he keeps doing that, we're going to have real good things coming out of John the rest of the year.
And more importantly, he's actually adjusting to the northeast weather pretty well. I mean, his last 2 starts have come in some really brutal weather.
Yeah, that's definitely part of it. And you mentioned also about us making an error, and that's we made a big freshman error. And one of the things I tell kids all the time is freshman mistakes I can live with because it's a learning process. And it was one of those things where our shortstop, who's been playing phenomenal, just thought he kind of rushed to try to get a double play on a ball that really wasn't a double play ball. And that's just learn to adjust to the level you're at and being a Division I player as opposed to a high school kid, where maybe in high school, you can still turn a double play on that, but a slow roller like that at this level, there was no way. So he really had to kind of run through the ball, just get the out, and it would have been second and third, 2 out, and see what happens. But it's a young mistake, it's a freshman mistake, and it's something that he'll learn from. I guarantee it as time goes on, and I'm very happy with the way he's playing. So no harm done, no foul. We gave them a hell of a game, and it went their way.
There's definitely a lot of positives to take from the series coming after the excellent Lehigh NGIT weekend, and now upcoming this weekend after tomorrow's postponement against Monmouth. You got this weekend coming up at NYIT, New York Institute of Technology. And before we get to the scouting report about them, just tell me about the transition it is going from one of the best teams in the country, 22nd Seton Hall, to one of the the worst teams ranked wise, NYIT.
Yeah, I mean, at Division I, nobody's ever bad, so you can't go into a series saying, well, we're guaranteed to win or whatever. But this is a great test for us to see, are we a young team that just plays one level below our competition, and therefore you manage to lose to whoever you're playing. So at Seton Hall, you play great because they're 22, but then you go out and play one level below the next opponent. That's what we're going to find out this weekend is what are we really made of and what can we do. And at the same time, as I said, New York Tech just beat LIU last week, so it isn't like there's no talent there. There's talent there. So they might have got off to a bad start. I know they haven't played a lot of home games. That's part of what's hurt them. But we expect a tough battle, and hopefully, if we play at the level that I think we can play at, we definitely should come out of there with some W's.
Weather permitting, that's 4 games this weekend against NYIT, and the next Tuesday we won't have the Knights Baseball Roundup done Tuesday. We'll probably do it Wednesday, but you will be traveling to Army. Obviously, weather permitting, but give me a little tidbit about Army.
My biggest win as a coach here 2 years ago when we made the playoffs. We beat Army when they were number 30 in the country, and And I remember Shane Sealer, the 9-hitter, then hit a 3-run home. We were down 3-0, and we just kind of like shell-shocked them, scored like 5 runs in that inning. And then my 7, 8, 9 bullpen put the game away because, again, we scored late. It was like the 6th inning, so it was good. They're an excellent team, always an excellent team, always high-ranked, always a top team in their league year in and year out. So we know that's going to always be a battle. I mean, that's just, there's a reason they're Army. I mean, they're certainly not giving up, and they're certainly not going to have a lack of effort on their part. So that's an uphill game, and by then, too, we'll be right before the conference starts. So I don't even know, might be a pitching by committee type game because we obviously got to start, getting ready for the league. So I'm not going to really pitch a guy like long in that game. So that'll be interesting. We got a ways to go to get to that one.
Okay. Weather permitting, all these games coming up. Knights baseball roundup next week. Coach, good luck the upcoming games.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us here at the complex this week. And Knights fans, obviously, at FDUKnights.com. Check out all baseball up-to-date sports information, stories, stats, everything you want to know. I'm Ryan Uhlich for another edition of the Knights Baseball Roundup with Gary Puccio. And stick around for Corbin Gapski. He'll be interviewing Pat McClure, last week's NEC Co-Player of the Week. And thank you for watching this week.
I just want to know, Corbin Gapski's now interviewing Pat McClure. I know they played ball together when they were like 6 or 9 or something like that. So hopefully we won't have to listen to any stories about that.
We've warned them.
Sounds good.
Thank you, Ryan. And by the way, Coach Puccio, we've known each other since we were 12 years old, not 6. We weren't playing in the sandbox. I'm joined here with redshirt sophomore Patrick McClure. Pat, how you doing today?
Great. How are you? Pretty cold, though. Pretty cold.
So, Pat, I got to have you on here because you've been tearing the cover off the ball. And let's go back to your freshman year. Your freshman year, you're NJCBA all-rookie team. You're a solid defensive catcher, only committing one area your freshman year. So you turned in a great campaign for the Knights your freshman year. And then sophomore year happened, and you went down with an injury. We talked about it. You didn't know if you were going to play again. And now you're starting for the Knights again. So tell everyone at home the recovery process and the whole process for you.
It was a long mental process that I had to stay focused throughout the whole time. I had a lot of people supporting me. It was just a lot of rehab. My arm's feeling good now. It's great to be back on the field.
Okay, Pat, so now I want to talk about the hitting side a little bit and what you've turned around so far. You needed to get your time back a little bit, but now you're really starting to get in the swing of things, no pun intended, and you're really tearing the cover off the ball. So what has been the turning point for you, and now you're really starting to feel comfortable with the play, it seems like?
Well, once I hit the 30 at-bats, we went over to St. John's and had a good game, nice pinch hit. And obviously the one time we're playing on ESPN, I have that fall around on first base. Still don't know how to get on SportsCenter, but I know.
Now you hit that double, and later that week you were named NEC Co-Player of the Week and Blooper of the Week as well. I think in FDU's hearts you got Blooper of the Week. But after that you played NJIT and you played Lehigh, and then you hit 429 and on base percentage over 500. So just talk about that a little bit and how the comfort transferred over from the St. John's game.
Well, it's always nice playing at home, get a little more comfortability. It's just swing feels really good right now, really locked in. Again, it was all about just getting back in the swing of things after missing that whole year.
And okay, Pat. So my last question for you is, what the team needs to do to win. You're on that winning team in 2012 where you guys made it to the playoffs. So what this team needs to do to get back to the playoffs. What do you think is stopping you guys right now?
Nothing's really stopping us right now. It's just early in the season. This cold weather hasn't helped anything. But right now, I think the biggest thing we have this year compared to last year and that we had in 2012 is we have a lot of chemistry on the team. Everyone gets along with each other. Everyone's playing as one. It's great to see where the season goes.
Great. Now, Pat, I want to thank you for chatting with Corbin. It's cold out here. Yeah, chatting. So again, redshirt sophomore here, Patrick McClure. Pat, I want to wish you the best of luck the rest of the way and continue support.
Thanks for having me on the show, and I'm still mad at you for taking all those free kicks, 12-year-old indoor soccer court.
Absolutely. We know each other since we were 12, so we're going to keep rocking here at FDU. Fans, make sure to go FDUKnights.com for all the updates, videos, and stats of all FDU baseball, and watch every week with Ryan and I, the Knights Baseball Roundup here at FDUKnights.com. Have a great day.